Can anybody hear me? Sorry, I was introducing myself, but I forgot I have myself muted. Yeah, welcome. I saw 4 people, but now there's 2. Yeah, welcome. Hello, everybody. So today I'll be going over Dream Guardian, in a more detailed guide than the one that I made, or than a short video that I made. As well, I will be, as well, hello, welcome. Yeah, as well, I will be going over, the 2 new Pilot Awaken, or not even new anymore, but, the 2 Pilot Awaken, the 2 latest Pilot Awaken, that is Trista Awaken, and the VTuber, Yumeno, Awaken. And of course, the 2 new pilots for EN that just dropped recently, that is the, that is the Dormouse, I think, or Dormouse, and Kanna. So, alright, well, I shall. Yeah, hello, welcome. I'm switch to 0. Yeah, it's fine, yeah, welcome. Alright, yeah, welcome, hello, everybody, hello. And yeah, again, if you're watching this, later from the recording, just know everything I talked about will be time-stamped in the comments and in the description, so. Alright, so, yeah, welcome Snake, welcome Blizzard, welcome. Sorry I was muted for I think a few minutes. 11 people, holy crap, welcome. Alright, let's just start. Let's get into it, let's get started. So, well, let's start with the news first that has been coming in for both NC and JP. So, in NC, obviously, we have Himiko Awaken. I have already made a video about it. So, if you want to know more about Himiko Awaken, I know this makes sense. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Wait, Himiko or Dream Guardian? Dream Guardian, right? And of course, I have my Dream Guardian guide that's made, if you guys want to check that out as well. And of course, we have our Bahamut, which I don't think I talked about on my last guide. So, oh, and we also have the latest news. Yeah, latest news from of your Discord, where apparently their website have posted Tawilu retrofit early. So Tawilu Awaken might be getting a new the Mecha Tawilu might be getting a new Awaken soon. So for those who don't know, let's go into Solar Wing. So if anyone have this, where is it? Oh my god, Tawilu is old. Holy crap, wait, Tawilu is old. Wait, where's Tawilu? Or wait, yeah, where's Tawilu? There you go, yeah, holy crap, Tower is old. So, if the news is true, yeah, welcome back, yeah. So, if the news is true, Tawilu will be getting a new retrofit, which is kind of crazy, yeah. Such an old unit, too, oh my god. It was around Orochi. It was around, Orochi, Changshen, oh my god, yeah. But again, if the leak is true, if they really goofed up on the updates, then Tawilu Awaken might be coming soon, so. Yeah, hello Naka, welcome. And definitely, tell me if my voice is fine, if the mic is fine, cause I don't know, so. Alright, seems like it's fine. Alright, so. That is the news for NC and for other server, and of course for EN, everyone should already know, we have the 2 new pilot, the Dormouse, and I'll just call her Kanna, or Kanna, I think, yeah, Kannazuki. And of course the 2 Pilot Awaken, which is not really news anymore, but it's something that we will be going over today, after I talk about Dream Guardian. So, alright, so let's start with Dream Guardian since there's a lot of people here already. So let's go to Dream Guardian. So, how are you guys having fun with Dream Guardian? It's probably one of the biggest meta, or not big, yeah, probably one of the biggest meta changes in Iron Saga recently. Because right now the mecha just back then, the meta is just a huge slugfest with, Shinkata Dragon and stuff like that. Now a Dream Guardian, finally there's a breakthrough where most matches wouldn't really take that long, to finish, so. Yeah, 2 copy, I wish I had more, yeah. Honestly, two copies is enough, I'll get into it, and everything, yeah. But yeah, welcome, hello. Is there Himiko build from the new pilot? Yes, the new pilot, the Kanna, is actually a really good pilot for Himiko, which I'll get into when I talk about that pilot, so. Alright, so, let's start with Dream Guardian. So, Dream Guardian, let's start with the chassis, because, I don't think I need to talk about the basic info, which I think I should. Yeah, Dream Guardian is surprisingly fast, despite not really displaying it being so. It is pretty light, I think. HP is pretty, what's it called? Average. But just something to keep in mind of. So starting from the chassis, first chassis casts a team aura, grants 9% weapon reload speed and mecha action CD recovery speed, boosts pilot's overall stat by 143. So the first chassis really amazing in especially in PvE, because anything to do with action, or anything to do with weapon reload speed, action cooldown, and action exchange speed, they're just they're really, what's it called, just by having this aura alone makes Dream Guardian viable in PvE. Like even if she doesn't do any damage or do anything, this aura alone can already make it really good in PvE. And of course in PvP this is also really strong, because again, anything to buff the team's actions, especially the action CD recovery speed are really, really strong. And the action CD recovery speed would be the unique abilities. So, but really, really strong aura. But you do get this just by leveling up to 5 stars, so you don't really need dupes. So so just by default, amazing aura. And of course, the pilot stat is also strong, because again, pilot stats directly involved with how much damage you do, or basically the higher the stat you have, the more final damage you actually do to the boss. So this pilot stat is also pretty important as well. So, alright, and now for the second chassis down. The second chassis is kind of lacking a bit, but it's technically a good thing that its chassis is not as good as its first chassis. So, beam and EM attribute attack plus 24%, and for each engaging enemy on the battlefield, increase the final damage dealt by 3%. So this skill is not that strong, because again, in PvE, sure, if you want to use Dream Guardian as a DPS, then you probably need this chassis, because it does give you a good damage boost. However, in PvP though, you're not gonna be, because in PvP, by having a lot of attack, it doesn't really matter that much, because you're already capping the firm steel cap by using just by using normal parts, right? So this attack buff doesn't really matter, and the final damage dealt is not final damage value, so it will not dealt over firm steel. Therefore, this final damage also really isn't that much. But again, this is pretty important in PvE if you want to use Dream Guardian as a DPS. However, in PvP, this skill doesn't really matter, and I think Dream Guardian is pretty popular in PvP right now anyways. So the reason why I say this is good, that it is not as good, is because, the reason why I say it's good, that its second chassis is not that good, is because you don't need to upgrade second chassis. That means you save a copy from needing to upgrade it. So all you really need now is just weapon and actions. You don't need another copy to unlock the chassis. So in my opinion, that's a good thing, especially for free to plays. So so that should be it about the chassis. Now let's get into its weaponry. Now its weaponry are what it's, is what it is pretty insane. So but I do have to say, a lot of its moves are just upgraded version of moves from other mecha. Like you can find its weapons. You'll find a lot of its similar animation from other units as well. Just saying. So alright, so Oni-chan beams. Now this beam is not that bad. It's pretty quick. It doesn't really stop Dream Guardian from doing what it's supposed to do, and Dream Guardian usually use this move in combination with some of his other moves, which can be very powerful. But it's nothing really too it's just nothing too special. Angel Aura, I believe that's the one that will shoot a lot of bubbles. Now this one is pretty strong, because it actually does do a lot of damage. So it does do a lot of damage, and it's homing as well. As you can see, it also applies some CC effects. This skill is it's just a good weapon to have. I believe it's also missile. So if you're using special missile. So if you're using a pilot that also shoots, or that buffs missile, or that buffs missile, buff drones, or just overall just spams missiles. Now this skill can be pretty strong, which I'll talk about more, especially when we get into their build. So and broadcasting drone. Now, broadcasting drone. This is the one that I think are one of his main damage dealers, as well as his CC ability, because this broadcasting drone does surprisingly high damage, and also of course applying good CC effect, making the enemy harder to escape. So, and a lot of time what you will see is if Dream Guardian is piloted by a pilot that is specialized in drone, you will see this drone that you'll start seeing this weapon start doing a tons of damage and a tons of CC effect as well. So, yeah, hello, welcome, 欢迎 hello. So, very strong, and is even stronger when you pair. It's actually deadly when you pair it with missile, missile specialized pilots and parts. So now, and now for its holy saber. Now this is the definition of power creep, because it's 520 times 10. Now 520 times 10. What makes it so special? Because if you take a look at some other pilots or some other mecha that specialize, or that's supposed to be specialized in main canon, you will start seeing some 300 times 10. You can see the definition of power creep, right? It's a whole new 200 more damage than the one from Marshall, which is absolutely insanity. So, but the thing is, this move, in my opinion, is not that great, because it does, usually when you build Dream Guardian, right, you will be building it specialized in drones, because that's where the most damage come from. Now, this move, unlike the Onichan Beam, does take some time to shoot, so it might, I wouldn't say it will hurt its DPS, but I much prefer it just shoot more beams, or shoot more drones, shoot more drones or shoot more missiles. So, but still a very strong move not to scoff at, because 520 times 10, that's insanity. That's just power creep. So, and now for its most special weapon, that is the drone, or that is the drone live stream. Oh, that's what it's called, drone live stream? So, it's a very long thing to charge, but basically it is, oh my god, hold on, yeah. I'm gonna use my Unsee account so you guys can see it right away. So it's basically the move that makes you guys' phone crash, or make the one that shoots bullet hell, basically. Now that move is the reason why Dream Guardian is one of the reasons why Dream Guardian is so strong, because you don't really need to care about its other moves when this move can already just kill everything, just swipe the entire team with this weapon, because it just shoots so much, I guess. It shoots so much bullet to a point where if a mecha doesn't have a shield or doesn't have any protective mechanism, got hit by it, a high chance is that it will die, especially when you combine it with Scorpion, where Scorpion can force stun your mecha, making you basically take more damage and guarantee to take that huge amount of bullet that is just ramming into Dream Guardian's target. So yeah, it's just brutal. It is similar to the X ult of Dream Guardian back then, it's similar to the X ult of Dankoga back then, where it's just a one-shot move. Basically, it's a one-shot move, but the different thing is that because Dankoga actually ignores shield, because its beam is the main armament. This mega weapon doesn't ignore shield, so you can still kind of counter it or survive it if your team have proper shieldings or have some kind of wall to prevent you being blasted by this bullet hell. And some counter could be shields, can be Riona Awaken, can be just immunity or something like that. But if you do take the full blunt of this weapon, the chances are anything can die in a few seconds. If not, your entire team can die in a few seconds. So but yeah, very, very strong weapon. And this is the reason why usually people, I'm gonna get into the build real quick, because I do want to show you an example. So even though her other, even though Dream Guardian's other weapon can work, right? Can work, but why do people usually use Majin Core plus high-tech shell? Because you don't really need her other weapons when this weapon alone can already swipe the team. So people will use high-tech shell to increase another bullet on that mega weapon, so it can do double amount of that, bullet hell. And it will also put in Majin Core. What Majin Core does is it will reload basically 50% of the it will reload 50% of the ammo at match start. Now because now it have two magazine of the super weapon, it reloading basically 50% of it makes you guaranteed to shoot one at the start of the battle. Now, if you get lucky enough, if the AI decide to shoot right away, then it's usually game over for the team. Or it's usually game over for the other team. So, yeah, this is how scary this weapon is. And people build around this weapon instead of building around its other, parts, such as, why don't you build it, for ether shell? Why don't you build with, why don't you build with drones? It is because just abusing this weapon's power, abusing this weapon's powers is much more effective than building it for just pure drones, I guess. So yeah, hello Kiwi, hello. Yeah, so that should be it for its weapon, and its punches is not really, important. You're not gonna be running claw on it, so yeah, not too important. But its punch does give it kind of like a melee attack. So its first weapon, the Shiroi punch, or its first ability, the Shiori punch, it's just like a 5-punch combo, which you usually wouldn't see. And if it does use that, it'll be detrimental to Dream Guardian, because it'll be like a few second animation for you to basically doing nothing. Block is pretty usual for other mecha. Side evade is pretty usual for other mecha. Now, the evade counter for this one is when you get melee attack. Yeah, when you get melee attack, it will jump back while shooting its only jump beam. This is the reason why I say this only jump beam is pretty good. Or it's not like, it wouldn't bother Dream Guardian that much on doing its drone damage, because usually you'll be using it along with its counter, along with its action. So yeah, evasive counter pretty good, because when you get melee, which Dream Guardian can get melee sometimes, if the enemy AI decide to target Dream Guardian, which is bad, because you don't want Dream Guardian to die. But by having this counter, which is pretty important, that this that a ranged mecha have a counter, which is and a counter that doesn't go in but actually goes back. So it's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Actually, it goes back and also while damaging the shooter, which is again a very good counter. Or it's not even a counter; it's more of an evasive move, but I think it's more of a counter. So now for its actual counter, or its first actual counter, that final a fallen angel scent. So basically what this one does is when you get attacked, it will goes into the enemy while shooting a lot of his heart as well. And there you go. It'll go to the enemy, do some melee damage, and also put out basically put out a minefield of hearts. Those so those hearts actually count as mines, So if you look closely, those hearts can actually not damage planes, because those are not really missiles. They are more they are more of mines. So basically, I wouldn't say you should build to counter these hearts, but if you want to, these things can technically be destroyed by anti-mine parts. But honestly, I think there you go. There you go. Now it's back. Yeah. For some reason, my stream just went die for a second. So I forgot. Okay, I don't know where the stream cut off at, but I'm just gonna say that I think it's a good counter. It gives the entire stage with these hearts, which can be pretty powerful, because those hearts can do serious damage. It's homing, it can do serious damage, and also CC abilities if the enemy doesn't have anti-CCs. So, one touch from the heart might be game over, because one touch from the heart, that means you get stunned and you'll be hit by a lot more heart coming after you. But again, it does go in even for a slightly bit, which can be a bit dangerous, especially in a meta where, you know, enemy can just grab you out of your iframes and just, you know, kill you. So, but it's better, you know, it's better than what it could have been, I guess. So, and plus it is pretty offensive as well, despite being a counter. And it's like, I think this counter is like better than a lot of other units' counter, I feel like. So, yeah. And now for its full speed sword. So now this one basically just a huge backup move, which is really good, especially for like a range unit, because not many range unit, or not many good range unit. Actually, you know, there hasn't even been much range unit that is good. But I think this move is required on, or I don't know. It's just like, or like, for example, Zhonghu, right? Zhonghu is a range unit that people use a lot, but Zhonghu doesn't have something like this where we'll just, you know, like immediately go back. And so a lot of times Zhonghu, the moment where Zhonghu get touched, or the moment Zhonghu get, you know, targeted by the enemy's melee or the enemy's DPS, it will just die, because, you know, there's nothing really to protect himself or to get himself out of the AoE, or get himself out of like the main battleground. But having this Dream Guardian, by having this move, literally makes him, in my opinion, one of the perfect range unit. That isn't, I mean, Israfel is not really a range unit in my opinion, but I think it's just such a great move for, like, it's probably the best move in my opinion for any range unit, because it can really get Dream Guardian out of the trouble, and of course it will shoot his drone, which can be powerful if you have a, you know, drone specific pilots and parts. So. Yeah, so it just ensures its survivability. Now, and Wanna Get Banned is another move that's similar to it. Where, hold on, Jesus Christ, what's going on? Because I believe it does step back a little bit. Basically from the battlefield when it get attacked, while pretty much doing like a open fire on all of his weapon. Actually, oh, never mind. Oh, okay, so it does go into melee for a little bit, but it does also go back by a whole bunch, which, again, any move that can make you go back, especially for Dream Guardian, is very powerful. Having these two moves alone, in my opinion, are already stronger than, like, all the range unit in the game at the moment. So, or at least in survivability wise. So, and of course, this move is also like a built-in open fire, so it will fire all of his weapon except for his super weapon, which is again very, very powerful, because, you know, again, all the Dream Guardian's moves are pretty powerful. So that means it will shoot this, you know, 520 times 10 beam. It will shoot all of its drones. It will shoot his missiles. So just very, very powerful. And of course, Baka Oni-chan, this move, I don't really like it. It's similar to the move. It's similar to the counter where it does go in. It will, you know, have the entire screen covered with hearts, which will do a lot of damage. But again, it is a move that does, you know, that does, you know, make you closer to the enemy and potentially get yourself into the worst position. But again, it does have, you know, she does have other, you know, backup move that kind of compensate with that, so it's not that big of a deal. But again, very powerful move. Yeah, very powerful move. It's another open fire, which it will shoot all of his weapons. Again, combine it with pilots that focus on drones, or parts that focus on drones, can be very powerful. And of course, it will, you know, cover the stage with the with the homing carts, which can be very detrimental to the enemy if they either run into it or just get hit by it because they were too slow. So very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. However, again, I don't know. I much prefer it have like it just stay back doing all the time. Like, I don't know why it want to go in twice for no reason. Because, you know, any range unit that goes in even for a little bit, even if you can step back, it can be a little bit risky sometimes. So a lot of times, if your Dream Guardian die, a lot of time might be because it either get grabbed out of the animation or just unable to go back far enough from the battlefield and just get caught and die. So. But yeah. Alright, so, but yeah, that should be it about its action. So I think, oh yeah. I'm not sure if that's all of the Dream Guardian. So, I guess one thing I do want to say is that that's what it says. So, for its mega weapon, the very powerful one, and pretty much is, you know, what makes it so strong. This weapon, although, I mean, obviously it is not a missile weapon because it shows, you know, it is mega weapon. However, a lot of time, weapon and like action in this game have very weird properties, because, you know, sometimes some mega weapon also does count as single shot, or also does count as, say, missiles and stuff like that, right? So this mega weapon does not count as single shot, so you couldn't really, you know, use single shot parts to buff this weapon up, and this is not count as a drone or a missile, so you couldn't use missile part and drone parts to increase its attack or buff it or affect it in any way. And same goes for, you know, pilot parts and skills. So, however, the damage that this thing do, the damage that this mega weapon do, does count as missile for some whatever reason. So that means if the skill triggers on hit of the missile, then it can trigger the effect of that unit. So for example, let's go into a skill that would be triggered by missile hit. So let's go into die. So if you look at Dai's second skill, when a missile weapon hits, remove all debuff from the user and reload 20% of the magazine. Now, this effect will work because it is on missile hit. It doesn't affect missile, you know, at the beginning. It affects when missile damage, basically when missile hits. But if you take a look at let's say if you take a oh my god, if you look at, okay, you know what, if you take a look at Trista's Awaken skill, so increase duration of missile and drone by 40%. Now this effect wouldn't work because the weapon does not count as missile or drone initially. So this skill wouldn't work, and pretty much all of her skill wouldn't work on what's called dream, or wouldn't work on that weapon basically. So, which I think is fair, because if that weapon works with drone parts, then it will be completely busted. So yeah. But yeah, so I think that should be it about Dream Guardian. Is there any questions? I'll do my best to answer all of them. So I hope I didn't drag it for too long. So and welcome. Upon for Scorpius, what pet is good for DG? I'll get into that when I get into the build. Yeah, I'll get into that when I get into the build. Hey, can I use that? No, you cannot, because again, this mega weapon does not count as single shot and does not count as what's it called? Yeah, does not count as single shot, does not count as missiles. So yeah, light out wouldn't work. So yeah, big sad. So. Alright, so let's get into its builds. So its builds, I already kind of like made it already. So for PvE, this is what I will go for. This is for PvE. I'm putting it on Slokai because Slokai does have what's it called, like if you level up Slokai's active skill, because Slokai actually have a fire at will, because you know, by or how do you say, like, yeah, but you know by force firing all of her weapons, that means she will also fire her super weapon as well. So it can be pretty, and you know, combine it with Scorpius, that means in PvE you will unleash this whole barrage of bullet onto the enemies and potentially stunning the enemies at the beginning. Now if the enemy, or stunning the boss at the beginning. Now if the boss is stunned, it gives your other CC effect time, such as, you know, Lioma with the Ushan Sholo, or you can also use, you know, things like Lex to start applying, because, you know, at the beginning of the battle, right? At the beginning of the battle, the boss are usually not immediately controlled, but by having Dream Guardian to basically, well, I mean, that is if you also build it, where that is if you also build it where she activates herself immediately, which I wouldn't recommend, but if you do that, you can. Actually, you know what? Scratch everything I said. Just by having this, it can do a lot of damage, and all these multi-hits combined with the Scorpion Pet can be a really, really strong boss CC, combined with your more, I guess, more sustainable boss CC. It can just make your boss unable to move most of the time. And that's usually how you do damage now, is to basically lock the boss up for your DPS to actually do damage. That's usually how. That's the reason why people can do a lot of damage to bosses, because a lot of time, from what I've seen from people's PvE team builds, is that they don't really have a boss CC, or they don't have a really good boss CC, so the boss will be running around in iframes or in some other moves, making it hard for their DPS to actually do DPS. So by having Dream Guardian and by having another, or you probably only need Dream Guardian anyway, but some boss could be immune to certain types, so that's why I would still go for 2. But if you have 2, they can pretty much guarantee you to do a lot of damage for most bosses. So, and a large part of that is thanks to Scorpius for able to stun the boss as well. So yeah, that's the reason why too. And because it's PvP parts because it's PvP build, sort of, can also works in PvE as well, for it to do massive amount of damage. So just having Majin Core to increase its final damage, of course, and high-tech shell for more of that super weapon spam, it can be a really good all-in-one. So it's a support unit for from the support pilot from the aura, and from just carrying Slowkai. It is also a very strong boss CC with the Scorpius and its multi-hits. And of course, it is really strong DPS because, Slowkai have the open fire. You combine it with Majin Core, high-tech, battery, and of course, an attack, or the Greta's co-pilot skill, making her can do insane amount of. I mean, she probably wouldn't do as much damage compared to your other DPS. However, she can still be doing a ton of damage because for all these parts. So, still confused about the co-pilot for Diju. Yeah, I'll get into that. Pet Firework Bunny, okay? No, because Dream Guardian doesn't really spam that much actions, in my opinion. I mean, she will spam a lot of action if she's being attacked, but in PvE, I don't think she'll be spamming that much actions. But in PvP, you probably can use it, but I might suggest something else. But I think in PvP, I'll get into it in PvP. Yeah, I'll get into it. And for the co-pilot's part, I'm using Greta because Greta is just a better version of what's it called? Just a better version of perfectionism, I think. What is it? Perfectionism. Just better version of the perfectionism, where perfectionism only give you like 32%, while Greta is like 14% times 4, which is pretty strong. So, which is just better than other units. So, yeah. But yeah, so this is what I'll probably go with in PvP or in PvE, because I'm using Slowkai. I mean, Slowkai in PvP probably will work too, because she does have a force fire, which I'll get into that as well. So, yeah. But do keep in mind though, if the boss is, I guess, or if you want to build this Dream Guardian more on the boss CC side and not do much DPS at all, then you can probably go for something like this, right? So you can go for Spotless, the special for her, and you can also go for more sustainable parts, like let's say Missile Core, and the drone. What's it called? Just have your drone to be out for longer for a longer period of time, so it can be blocking the boss more and more. And if you don't have spotless, or if your boss can already be like stunned for a lot, you just want it to shoot as much strong as possible, then of course you can also go for this one, the pilot that steals bullets. Yeah, you can go for her as well, then she can also work. For PvE, DG reduces the boss HP a lot. Yes, it indeed does if you build it for PvP. Like, if you build it for DPS. If you build it for DPS, I would say it's on par with, like, Justice Magenta or something like that. If, like, better or worse, probably. So, very, very strong. Very, very strong. Hold on. Let me get back into, Greta. So, that should be it for PvE. Now, let's get into PvP. So, hold on. Let me put on... Where's Greta? I swear. Greta! It's fine. It's a transition. You know what? Screw it. Alright, so let's get into PvP. So for PvP, I think I have a thing here. So PvP, this is what I will... Huh? Alright, there you go. Okay, I think it's back. Yeah, I think it's back. I don't know why my internet is, like, cutting out, but, I hope it's not too much I hope it's not too bad, I hope. But anyway, let's get back into it. So, Margin Core and High Tech, as I already explained before. High Tech to increase that super weapon by 1. And then we use Margin Core so it can immediately reload 50% of it, so you'll immediately have one magazine of it to shoot that super powerful super weapon that can wipe the enemy's team. And that's honestly just how Dream Guardian work. You do this, and you use that bullet, and you use that, and you use that weapon, and it's game over, usually. And so, that's usually how it works. It's pretty simple, honestly, yeah. High tech plus margin. So, but high tech plus margin, really, really strong, or it's a must-have for the burst tilt, especially if you build it for the burst team. So, and for the support, I will go with emergency detach, because let's say you didn't they didn't wipe their team, right? You didn't wipe their team, or you only wiped like a little bit of their team, and now the enemy's Dream Guardian is coming at you, or the enemy's DPS is coming at you, right? Now, by having an emergency detach, she can survive a bit longer, and for her to charge, more, or for her to shoot more drones, for her to shoot or reload more of her super weapon, that can, give another chance on wiping out the enemy. But usually, usually it won't come down to it. Usually, if your Dream Guardian trigger this one, you probably gonna lose, because the enemy's Dream Guardian is probably killing you. So, but is an extra layer of what's called survivability, I guess. If you don't have emergency detach, you can always go for battery, because battery just more sustainability for your more sustainability for your what's it called, or for your drones having a more sustainable DPS. So yeah, and you can potentially trigger Scorpion as well. So, and of course Firm Steel for armor. Don't think I need to explain on that. And I'm going for what's called the aggro code, because you need some sort of the aggro on your Dream Guardian, because you don't want to be targeted. Because if the enemy knows how to deal with Dream Guardian, then they can usually survive the first wave of that of that mega weapon. So having a the aggro can potentially help you out. Let's say if the enemy survived the first one, again, potentially help you survive long enough for you to reload another one of that mega weapon, to shoot that mega weapon, and potentially just win you the game. So yeah, but there are other options that I will get into. So I just stay tuned. And then of course Scorpius, one of the biggest reasons, aside from his damage, is also because of the CC effect. Because a lot of the units now have 100% immunity, and I mean, not every team runs Zhonghu and Ashima, so not every team will have their immunity be reduced when they're at certain HP. But but because this one basically, because Scorpion ignores immunity basically, so it can be so it can effectively, or if you ever wonder why the enemy, like let's say your Shinken Dragon gets one-shotted or get killed in 10 seconds, and you see it's not moving, it's mostly because of Scorpion. Scorpion make you stun, make you stun that ignores immunity, and when you're stunned, you're gonna take all the hits from Dream Guardian, and you will be perished basically. So if you ever see your Shinken Dragon dies in like 20 seconds, this is usually what happens. And actually that's usually what happens for all the mecha that Dream Guardian targets it. So, and this is also the reason why shield is so strong, because again, iframe does not mean you're stop screwing up. There you go, finally, God. Okay, so yeah. I don't know where I left off, and I don't know where to cut off, but I'm just gonna explain why Scorpion is strong again. So again, stun, that immunity, like a paralyzation, that immunity. That's usually why your units are dead if they don't have shield, because again, iframe doesn't mean you're immune to CC effects. So let's say you get hit enough during iframe or during iframe off times, right? You'll get stunned. It will stop you from doing your iframe. It will stop you from doing your action, or even when you're in a grab, right? So if you don't have a shield, if you let Dream Guardian's bullet touch you, it can potentially trigger Scorpion, and the moment you trigger Scorpion, you're basically dead, basically. So because the moment, usually when you trigger Scorpion, that means 7 or more hits are already hit on you, pretty much. So what's coming next after that is gonna kill you most of the time. So this is why, and this is the reason why some people said that Scorpion is almost needed for Dream Guardian, because it kind of give you the guarantee. It's what makes Dream Guardian so scary as well, because it kind of guarantee you the kill, kind of. So very, very strong, kind of like a real Scorpion, right? One shot, one kill, sort of. Yeah. And Dream Guardian has so many multi-hits that it can trigger Scorpion over and over and over and over. The only way to stop it is to use shield or something that prevent your unit to be touched by its bullet in the first place. So, yeah. Because, if you get touched, you kind of will be damaged. So, yeah. Alright, so now for its Kopet skill. On PvP, or can we? Yes, I talked about before, yeah, in PvE as well. It is as deadly as, this pet is as deadly as it for other units, or as if for PvP units, as to boss. So boss will take the full blunt of this pet as well. So yeah, which is the reason why it makes Dream Guardian such a good CC mecha in PvE, as well as just like a DPS in PvE, because it can do some DPS as well. Because again, it also applies it also applies what's it called, acid, which is very good as well. So mic test died again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know why my what's happening with my internet? Jesus Christ, no one's using it right now. Alright, so you know what? I think I talked enough about Scorpion. Let's go into his co-pilot skill. So co-pilot skill, honestly, it really depends on your pilot, I think. But usually you will want to go for Rewind or Death Struggle. Yeah, Death Struggle from either Kalas or from Kirumi, because you can potentially 1v4 Dream Guardian can potentially come back if it stock up enough on its Mega Weapon. It can potentially do a comeback, they can potentially do a comeback as long as it survives long enough, because it will shoot its Mega Weapon or its other weapons and potentially one-shot all 4 units, or one-shot, let's say 2v1, it can potentially one-shot both units and just, win you the game. So, I think Rewind are always the safest. Because, in the end, Dream Guardian is still a ranged unit, it's pretty fragile, so, having this safety net should be pretty, can be pretty helpful in PvP, so. But, if you don't have Rewind, or if you think your Dream Guardian can already survive long enough, or good enough, you can always go for something like Spotless or something like that to just do more damage or something. So, yeah. Also, hold on, my phone also kind of got screwed a little bit. Okay, hold on. I don't know what's going on. There you go. Alright, my bad. Oh God, Jesus Christ, what's happening? Hold on. Stop mirroring. There you go. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why it Bakoni-chan, yeah. Come on. There you go, finally. So, but this is just one build that I would recommend in PV or in PvP. So, and of course Trista Awaken, because, you know, she just really works, because she can really buff up that lot of Dream Guardian's other weapon as well. So let's say if you shoot your Mega Weapon and it doesn't kill the enemy team, or probably not even all of them, by just having Trista, she can provide a strong buff for pretty much all of her all of Dream Guardian's other weapons, and other just all of her other weapons, which can already be very powerful, and basically give you more sustainability. Where let's say if your spam fail, like let's say if your Mega Weapon spam fell at the beginning, she can still provide insane amount of damage potential, or just a lot of damage onto the enemy, just by having her as a pilot. So, and I do have to say, let's say if the enemy team, they know exactly what you're doing, and so they're gonna build a team that anti bursts, that can protect themselves at the beginning, and block all the mega bullet from Mega Weapon. If they're doing that, and if you know if you know they're doing that, then you can go for some more sustainability parts, such as either shell or armor core, or not. What am I saying? Missile core, and stuff like that. Yeah. So this is something you can also go for if you want to go for more sustainability, and you don't want to just go for Mega Weapon burst, because her other weapon are very strong as well. So, alright, let's go into alright. So hold on, I'll put this back. So where can I get a Scorpion Pad? You can get Scorpion Pad as Starlight Starlight Badge, and Starlight Badge you can redeem them usually around anniversary for 3 copies. So yeah. Is that Acid Core? Is that Acid Core? Acid Core? No, it's Majin Core. Yeah, Majin Core. Majin Core, the one that reload the bullet by 50%, and the action cooldown as well. So yeah, only there. Yeah, only there for now. Yeah, only there for now. Yeah, only there. What? Oh really? Oh no, I was using Missile Core. So the reason why I put Missile Core is because it's for sustain, right? Let's say if the enemy, can counter your burst, then by having Missile Core or some other core can be more sustainable, for Dream Guardian, basically, because Dream Guardian will be shooting a lot of missiles during its uptime. So, and I'll go into another build for PvP, and for those who doesn't have, Trista Awaken, but for, everyone have Bekkas, right? Everyone have Bekkas, this should work. So, for Bekkas, what you want to do is you want to go for Baihu Coat, yeah, you want to go for Baihu Coat, same build, yeah, same build, same thing. Tech Core, Majin Core, and, yeah, Tech Core, and let me put on, because Bekkas already have a revive, sort of, so I'm not gonna put in another revive, I'm gonna put in something like Spotless or something, yeah. Drone Array, Battery. Drone Array works too, but in PvP, I would recommend Ether Shell much more, because, Ether Shell can ignore, defense ability sometimes. Battery Core is good, but again, you might want Dream Guardian to survive a little bit longer with emergency detach, preferably, so, yeah. But those things in PvE should be fine, yeah. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. I'm using see, I'm using Becca's old skill. So Becca's old skill is open fire, as everyone knows, and by having by having open fire, basically give you like a free burst on your Mecha weapon. And if you can make your Becca spam it twice, like let's say if you're running like its old active skill as well, or its old passive 3 as well, then you can just unload a ton. Just unload a ton of that Mega Weapon onto the enemies, which is pretty godly basically. And especially combined with Black Tech Shell, that means Becca's will be shooting 2 of that Mega Weapon at once for every time he activate his every time he activate his active skill. And you don't even need to use Baihuko, you can also go for Berserker Core or Berserk Coat if you want, if you're using his old passive 4. So I'll show you emergency. I'm not sure I understand. Emergency detach are there to protect you from getting. It's protection from accidents, right? It's protection from accidents. See, if you're confident that your Dream Guardian will not die somehow, right? Then of course then you put on batteries. But can you really be that confident on your Dream Guardian not dying? If you're not, then I will always go for emergency detach. So, yeah. Cynthia, better PvE? No. You can go for PvE with Cynthia, but what's it called? It's just normal. It's just normal. It is normal Cynthia things, right? It's just normal Cynthia. It's like how you would do with with the likes of Jorm, basically. So it's nothing too special, but I would think, or I would prefer using Dream Guardian as a support, because there are better DPS out there. I mean, Ian doesn't have Dante and Marshall yet, obviously, but Ian does have Rebelio, does have Lavatine, right? Does have other potentially better DPS. So I wouldn't recommend building, because okay, see, when you build your team revolves around Cynthia, right? It can be, it can be lacking in CC abilities. Because I don't know what I don't know what you'll be running. Because back when I was building Cynthia, I'm not running any boss CCs, right? So I don't know it'll be that useful. And even if it works, it will not work for all bosses. And this reason why I much prefer have Dream Guardian just to be jack of all trade, right? It's supporting with her chassis, and it's also supporting with the pilot that she carries, which is Slokai. She can be doing a lot of damage because Majin Core, High Tech, Scorpion, and Open Fire from Slokai, and it can survive Firm Steel, and of course competitive skill that can either steal the enemy's bullet, CC, do more CCs, or just do more DPS with final damage parts. So this is what I will probably go for. But again, nothing stopping you from Cynthia. If that is working for you, then by all means go for it. I do think it will be pretty fun, especially with Dream Guardian. But Cynthia's strat is a little bit outdated now. Is what I want to say, kind of. So, S weapon limit break in addition, maybe he will die almost impossible without that item. Wait, which item? Which item? What's it called? Hold on. Where's my Dream Guardian? I use Slokai mostly. What is thought on Trista? Trista definitely works as well. Yeah, Trista is one of the popular usage for both PvP and PvE in Dream Guardian. I mean, it's not that popular back in NC because we have Trista, we have Becca's, we have Elaine, right? Why would you use Trista? Why will you use Teresa Awaken for Dream Guardian, right? But if you have Teresa Awaken for Dream Guardian, then obviously you can go for it. But there are better options. There are Becca's, there are Elaine, there are Trista, there are some other pilots. So yeah. PvE DPS pilot. even with IC probably. Yeah. But I do think there will be to a point where that strat wouldn't work anymore, and the strat will be more focused on, DG being a boss CC, because, we have Dante, Marshall, or something like that. So, or just a heads up on future PvP and PvE meta, sort of. So, alright, so that should be it about its, DP, or about its, PV, yeah, I think that should be it about Dream Guardian, I think, yeah. Also, yeah. Rainier, welcome, thank you, welcome. Hello. Pretty bad DPS for poster, yeah. Since that Marshall copy Linda's skill. Oh. Alright, so I don't want to get into how do you counter Dream Guardian. So some of the counters that I will show, I'll just show you I will show you what you can do against Dream Guardian, because a lot of people are probably suffering against Dream Guardian. The biggest thing is hard. Or not hard, but it's RNG based, right? You can have all the count, you can have all four, you have all four of your teammates being counter Dream Guardian units. It will not be enough sometimes if you just get unlucky, right? If a few bullets go through, you're kind of dead. So, because multi-pilot tool makes a good idea, yeah. What BM is good for computer joint item? Kane, and just honestly most pilot or most melee mecha in general, as long as they're not a glass cannon, or as long as they have plus 20 armor. So, alright, so some counters for Dream Guardian. Of course, you can use Riona Awaken. Riona Awaken have the ability to suck, some part of the bullet out. Again, it does kind of require for her to get hit first. So I don't know if it'll be fast enough before the bullet kills her, but it is something that you can potentially use to suck up all those bullets. But again, it is very RNG based, because depending on the location of that black hole, depends on if you get depends on if you're on cooldown or not, right? Because you do have to get hit first before before you summon it. Sometimes if you get hurt, it might be too late already. So. But just one thing you can do, of course, shields. So I'm gonna go into a shield thing that I think. There you go. So I'm using Baron Awaken right now, but Ian doesn't have it yet. But you can try some other substitute on Dream Guardian. So suck the what out? What? Suck the what out? Oh, suck the Dream Guardian's what's it called bullet out. Yeah. Did I say something weird? Did I say something weird? I hope I didn't. But anyway, let's talk about let's talk about the shields. So the shields, oh, Jesus Christ, I don't know what's going on. I thought I said something weird because I was talking too fast. So, alright, so of course the well, this kind of requires you to have AT, because AT can summon clones. So you can use what's going on? I think using slow machine hell, yeah. So for if you want to use AT to counter Dream Guardian, here's the pet you can use the pumpkin pet, which can increase the duration of the pet's of AT, and also giving basically a shield wall for the giving a shield wall and giving other targets for the Dream Guardian to target, which can be pretty useful. And if you don't have the pumpkin pet, you can always get one, or you can always get the other shield pet in the market, which I will show you soon. So I'm just gonna show you as an example. So for example, right? Yeah, there you go, like this, right? Now you see on the map there's a lot of shield in the way, so this can potentially absorb a lot of those shots and protect your teammate with it. So yeah. And so again, if you don't have this pet, right? If you don't have this pet, there are one for purchase. Hold on, let me see if it exists in Ian. It should exist in Ian, right? Yeah, you can get this pet, GD03, which can create a large scale field, force field, for 5 seconds. It is $20, which is pretty expensive. But if you have the cash, or if you want to try it with AT, it is something you can go for. But I wouldn't recommend doing that unless it is your absolutely last option to counter it, because there are other shielders in the game that can work. So for example, right, if you have Alicia Awaken, yeah, where's Alicia? Alicia Awaken does have the skills that, you know, every 10 seconds it gives, you know, that gives all the ally a shield that can block 1600 point of damage, which can be pretty helpful against, you know, against, Dream Guardians. I mean, it does, you know, it does have like a limited amount of damage, but it's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. And, yeah, and let's say we don't have those as well. There are a future mecha that can work as like a shielder for the team. That is Abel. Abel can be a pretty good shielder for the team, because Abel just does have a move that can just, you know, ignore, or just give, you know, just give everyone a shield. So very, very powerful. At 19 people, oh my god, welcome. So yeah, Abel. If you are, or what's about, if you really lack everything to counter Dream Guardian, right, for some reason, right? If you don't have Ad, if you don't have Alicia Awaken, if you don't have Riona, if you don't have anything to counter Awaken, right? Then I would recommend you getting Abel, because Abel can give the whole team that shield, and that can work. But again, I do have to say, countering Dream Guardian, it's very RNG. You can have all the counters in the world, and it's not enough, because, you know, again, Dream Guardian only need to hit you a few lucky shot for you to be locked and for it to just kill you. And if you're facing against a burst team, right, most of the time you wouldn't even have time to put up the proper defense before your team just get wiped from the Mecha Weapon. So again, don't be surprised that even though you try to build your team to counter Dream Guardian, that didn't work. It is normal. It is normal that the team doesn't work, because Dream Guardian is just so powerful. Like that. Yeah. It's very strong. Especially when, you know, Ian doesn't have Binary Awaken that can keep, you know, pumping out clones, and that can keep from, you know, dying and stuff. It can be a bit difficult, especially for Ian, to counter Dream Guardian as well. So. Alright, so, and yeah, this is one shoulder if you actually doesn't have anything, so. In some desperate measure, you can also use something like, what's called, you also use something like, her support can give the ally with the least amount of shield, or with the least amount of HP a shield, which is a desperate attempt, but it is better than nothing, right? Yeah, because the best way to protect from Dream Guardian is to not let the bullet touch you. If the bullet touch you, you kind of died. Even if you're in iframe. Again, iframe won't protect you, right? Iframe won't protect you. So, just have this mindset, is that if you want to counter Dream Guardian, don't let the bullet touch you at all. So, yeah. Either your units have to be gone from the battlefield and not get touched, or is shielded so the bullet doesn't touch you. So, iframe might not work, just saying. So yeah, just keep that mindset in when you want to counter Dream Guardian. It can help you on making a team that can counter, or that can do a little bit better against Dream Guardian. So, but the best way to counter Dream Guardian is still to use your Dream Guardian to see if you can kill the enemy first before the enemy Dream Guardians kill you. That's the best way in this meta, I think. So, yeah. Ian Ben Ashim again. Oof, I see. iframe invincibility frame. Basically, Mecha now, anything they do is usually iframe. But again, iframe doesn't matter now, because iframe doesn't really stop you from being controlled, especially some iframe. I think some iframe does immune to it, but some iframe also does not immune to it. So like for example, right? One pilot that we will be talking about today is Dormouse. Dormouse, the new EM pilot that we'll be talking about after this, after Dream Guardian. So Dormouse, the last skill, once every second upload the pursuit into legend upon one enemy, rendering the enemy unable to target for 3 seconds. Now, this doesn't make the enemy unable to target like what it says. It makes the damage that you do on the enemy, it makes the damage that you will be doing onto, or the enemy will be doing onto your enemy, not take the damage if it hit that 60%. Now, even though it doesn't do damage, the bullet still hits you. So let's say if she applies this debuff on Dream Guardian, right? Dream Guardian shoots his bullet at you, and let's say all of them got the 60% and didn't do any single damage onto the enemy. The enemy might still die because again, just from Scorpion, because Scorpion does the damage, and there's just too many multi hits. Even though it doesn't do any damage, it will still apply the CC effect. So yeah, Iframe does not save you in Iron Saga anymore. So yeah, most of the Force Grab is also designed to grab people out of iframe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. So I think that should be everything about Dream Guardian, the counters and everything. And let me answer some questions. So, which is better, At or Dante? Dante. Yeah, get Dante. At clone is the only thing that regularly beats my Dream Guardian. Yes, yeah, clone. I find At cloning to be the most sufficient way to counter Dream Guardian, but again, it's not bulletproof. Literally not bulletproof, right? Because some bullet might squeeze by and you might die. So, Dream Guardian and Israfel are a great match. Actually, I don't want to say about that. Israfel can be a very good counter to Dream Guardian too, because a lot of people have Dream Guardian at 7-star, right? So Dream Guardian, so Israfel, if you have at 9-star, it can potentially counter those people with 7-star Dream Guardian, or not counter, because again, Dream Guardian have too much multi hits that I don't think even if you lower the attacks by a lot, it will affect that much. So never mind. Never mind. It was me, yeah. I'll try to read Iron Mouse, yeah, bruh. I know I've asked you about Boss Mecha. I'm gonna yeah. Thank you so much. Wait, that's how does it? Okay. So according to the wiki according to the wiki person that I heard from, yeah, basically it does not make the it doesn't make it not target the mecha. It makes it basically 60% chance to not do damage, sort of. Again, this is according to the Bilibili wiki guy maker, and his testing from his video. I don't know if there's any bug in Ian. If there are, maybe there are bugs about that in Ian. So yeah. Boss Mecha Pilot. No, for the Iron Mouse, or for the whatever mouse. So for the mouse guy, not working though. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it might be Ian's. Yeah, it might be something about Ian, because it's not that. It is not impossible for Ian to have that kind of bug, but in NC, I believe that's how it works. Basically, you have a when it hits, like 60% chance it will not be damaged. So yeah. Oh, I see. I mean, still fine though. Like Dormouse is not, or Dormouse. I think I'll get into it when I talk about her. She's an interesting pilot. Yeah, she's very an interesting pilot. Alright, so. Alright, enough about Dream Guardian. I think that's everything about Dream Guardian. I think I spent too much time on Dream Guardian. I think over an hour. So, alright, then let's get into pilots. So the first pilot let's get into is Trista Awaken. Let's go to Ian one. So Trista Awaken. Okay, I'm gonna use there you go. Trista Awaken. So first skill, limit breaking okay. So I don't want to say about overall. Overall, Trista just got a really powerful improvements. The only downside I can see that is all of her moves are offensive. There's not much room for defensive, so like she's like a pure ballistic missile kind of. Because she don't have much defensive abilities, she's gonna die in a touch, I feel like, most of the time. So, but usually Mecha nowadays can safely carry Trista easily, so that shouldn't be that much a problem. And in PvE. And PvE, your boss usually wouldn't be able to kill you by, without crossing your tank first. So, can I use boss? Mecha Pilot? Boss Mecha Pilot. For what? Wait, for who though? For I'm gonna finish Trista first, right? So first actual skill, limit breaking bombing. So reload and fire all missile type weapon immediately when normal attribute missile hit the target. There is a 100% chance to do extra explosive damage for the rest of the battle, up to 1 activation per battle. So, what's it called? Very powerful, very powerful AS. Basically a full fire for all missile types, and of course, if they're using normal attribute missiles, it have a chance. It'll guarantee if you max the ability to deal the extra explosion damage. Now, this skill is very powerful in PvE because depending on what Trista is piloting. If she's piloting let's say Jorm, right? Then this can be very useful because it will just do that extra explosion damage to do more damage. But if you're using something like, let's say, Dream Guardian or something like that, right? Now this skill wouldn't be as, it still shoot all the missiles out, which is good, but the other skill, Dream Guardian doesn't really have other, normal attribute missiles, so that wouldn't really matter. So yeah. But if you're using Trista on Jorm on some normal type, I think Jorm is only one that I can see that is good, because this move actually is better, this move is actually better against, or to be on a mecha that has less hit amount. Like if you're using this, like this skill works on Gawain, but Gawain does a lot of hits, and I think this wouldn't trigger all of them, like all of those hits compared to say like Jorm, so. Which makes sense because Jorm is Trista's cannon pilot, right? So yeah. But yeah, so very strong skill, but this is a skill that was skipped because most people are using Trista on Dream Guardian, and this skill doesn't really matter on Dream Guardian. Only the first part matter, and this first part is not really affected by by the level. So for Zhonghu, yeah, sure, yeah. If that's all you have, then yeah, boss pilot should be fine. Yeah. Preferably get some better super pilot though. Backup magazine, increase the attack of missile type weapon by 50% immediately, and replenish the magazine upon depletion of missile type weapon up to 16 times per battle. Very strong, just a very strong burst move. It can just keep on shooting its weapon, and keep on shooting its missile over and over and over, which is why it's a very good Dream Guardian. But do keep in mind, both of the first, over skill almost wouldn't work on that mega weapon, because that mega weapon is not a missile type. That mega weapon only does missile type damage again. So yeah. So yeah, if this skill works on that mega weapon, then that's game over. Like your game, like it's not even about it being strong, as your phone cannot physically take it. So yeah. But so what's it called? Yeah, very strong. Pretty much a must, or not must. It's probably like one of the better skill if you are using any missile pilots, or if you're using any or if you're using any bursting. Because what's gonna happen is, right, if you're building Dream Guardian like the one that I built here, what's gonna usually happen is Dream Guardian will shoot. Dream Guardian will shoot its what's it called? Will shoot its mega weapon, and then it will start shooting all of her other drones and stuff like that, and she'll just keep on doing that because of this second skill, and just do massive damage onto an enemy, kind of finishing off the enemies if the mega weapon doesn't kill them already. So very strong. Alright, so now for the limit breaking missiles, increase duration of missile and drone by 40%. Again, very huge boost, and boost guidance of all missile type weapon. And for every missile type weapon, the piloting units is equipped. For every missile type weapon, the unit have final damage increase, or final damage dealt increased by 5%. Very powerful in PvE, and and honestly just good in PvP as well. Just have your missile out longer, have your drone out longer, just do more damage overall. Just pretty strong. I think this is the longest one that we have seen. So if you're someone who's really like drone and really like missile, this skill is just or just this whole pilot Trista is you'll love it or you'll need it basically. Well, lady, the attack dealt by piloting unit defy 30. Okay, what the heck? Defy 35. Okay, hold on. Let me try to connect again. Why is it not connecting? Huh? Hold on. Help! Hold on. Something is wrong. Why couldn't I? Huh? Oh, there you go. I got 2 Dante, but the damage PVE is lower than. Hold on. I will show you my Dante build after I talk about the things, but hold on. Something is wrong with my thing. Why is so much technical difficulties today? Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Hold on. Yeah, what's wrong with my game today? Why can't I log into the... There you go. Okay, so I'm using wired, so give me 1 second. I hate it so much. Why? Hopefully this will work. Hopefully. Yes. Oh my god, why? Hey, time out. Thank you, Sino. Thank you. Installing drivers. Why do you need to install drivers? Alright, so okay, finally. Alright, so the attack dealt by the piloting unit defy 35% of the defense stat of the enemies. Pilot self-attack have 35% chance to apply crash effect, cleansing itself and recover some HP. Now, this is pretty strong because, with so many Awaken pilots running nowadays, some pilots have some really high defense stats. Now, these defense stats are actually quite important. I mean, it's not that important, but it does reduce, a good chunk amount of damage in PvP. So, by ignoring 30% of that, that's pretty strong. So, and of course, crash effect, just more CC ability on the boss. So, like, let's say, like, even if you don't have Scorpion, just by having this effect can already be a problem for the enemies. Cleansing itself, and cleansing itself, that means cleansing herself, which is kind of a or I wish it cleansed herself and the enemy. It would have been so good, I think. But still, cleansing herself, getting rid of debuff and stuff, very good. And of course, recovering some HP does give Dream Guardian a little bit, or just, whatever she's piloting, a little bit, sustainability with the HP. So, overall, a pretty good skill as well. However, this skill is the one that will probably skip if you are using a normal type, if you're using a normal type, missile or drone part, then I'll probably skip Wild Lady, because, I want that 100% chance to do extra explosive damage. But if you're using a non-normal type, if you're using a non-normal type, mecha, then I will max out Wild Lady, instead, and skip it on the active skill, such as, Dream Guardian. So, did I miss? No, not yet. I haven't, yeah. Actually, I'll be getting to router, Trista, so, yeah, overall, Trista, amazing upgrade. Like, for any drone lovers, for any missile lovers, this is definitely a mecha that you definitely want to have. Again, Trista is not only good on Dream Guardian, she is actually mainly better on a lot of, other, not better. I mean, she's probably the best pilot for Dream Guardian now anyway, but, just probably the best pilot, or probably the best drone and missile pilot right now for every single, melee, or, what I'm saying, for every single missile and drone mecha in the game, so, yeah. And one thing that is kind of funny is that none of her skill actually, except for the force skill probably, but none of her skill really can really affect Dream Guardian's Mega Weapon, which is like kind of funny. I don't know why, even though that skill is like the best skill Dream Guardian have. But yeah. And for the builds, I don't think for the builds of the mecha that Trista is on is usually just depending on the mecha. And Dream Guardian and Trista Awaken, honestly, again, any mecha or any missile and drone mecha should be fine, and it will also depend on the mecha it also depend on the mecha to determine if the build is good in both PvP and PvE, or only good in certain PvP or certain PvP or certain PvEs. So, and I guess anything else I want to say about Trista? Trista. Probably not. If I think about it, then I'll talk about it. If not, yeah, I'll just. Oh, and also, yeah, Trista is actually used by a lot of speedrunners because of her, backup magazine and open fire, and everything. So just to show Trista Awaken, yeah, very powerful. Yeah, I mean, and her skill overall is good in both PvP and PvE as well. So it will depend on the mecha to see if you want to purely build it for PvE and PvE. So. Alright, so you know what? That should be it about Trista. Let's get into Yumeno. So Yumeno also got a good upgrade. However, there are some skills that might be better. Or they're one and potentially, yeah, they're one skill that's potentially better for her pre-awaken. So I just got speedrunner. Yeah, Yumeno. What's that? Okay, so Yumeno. Yeah. So Whisper of an Angel. All enemy lose 18% debuff resistance and defense reaction stats and have action cooldown CD constantly for 5 seconds throughout a battle. Now that's pretty. That's pretty strong because how to say, like 18% might not seem like a lot, right? But this skill is actually amazing in PvE because what people will do, or in order to optimize, optimize, I guess, max DPS in especially the harder, in a harder DPS or on the harder PvE bosses, because it does constantly, reduce the action cooldown for 5 seconds throughout a battle, and of course, lowering their defense stats, reaction stat, and 18% debuff resistance. This skill is very powerful for you to activate in PvE, and using Yumeno as like a funnel to activate this skill, and just kind of like giving the enemy's boss a CC ability immediately for your other DPS to do a lot more damage to him. And for in PvP, it's also good because it can stop the enemies from having 100% debuff. But again, that wouldn't really that much, or that wouldn't matter that much at the moment because we have Zhonghu. But however, the action CD lower the action CD lower consistently is pretty strong because anything to screw with action CD in this game are very OP. So yeah, very good very good upgrade of the skill. Just amazing CC ability, if not one of the best CC abilities, especially in PvE. So, or the best CC ability for active skill. Alright, so now, Kenzen. The lower the remaining HP of all enemy, the higher final damage received by them, up to 18%. Now, this is very interesting, right? As I talked about before, final damage does not go over, final damage increase does not go over firm steel. However, the wording of this skill says that the higher the final damage received by them, the higher the final damage received by them. Now, this wording means that it is no longer, this wording means that it doesn't buff, your units. So your unit are not the one that's getting buffed. They will take more damage. So it's not affected by firm steel. Therefore, it basically raise your firm steel bar. So let's say your attack after firm steel will be 100, right? Will be 100. Let's say if your units are at like 1% HP or like 0% HP, then it will take 118 damage. Now it doesn't sound like that much, but again, any tiny little bit of damage that you can do over firm steel are very, very powerful. So this is a really, really strong PvP skill, because it just, actually, yeah, both PvP and PvE, but PvE is a bit more situational, because you do need the enemy to have lower health, but it's still something really good. But in PvP, it does make you do basically 18% more damage. Yeah, just think about it, or 19%, or that is at 0% HP. But you will start gradually. All your teammates will start gradually doing more damage, up to 18%, depending on how much HP the enemy team has. So yeah, very powerful. Yeah. Is it count as a debuff? Then it is resistable to other debuff. No, I don't think it does, because it's more like condition. If you know what I mean? Like it's like it doesn't apply anything onto the enemy. I think, because I don't think there's anything that you can stop it. I think, and there's also nothing that I know of that can really stop something like this, right? It's just that they will take more damage. So it's more of a condition than like a debuff. So which is again more powerful, because it can potentially be unimmutable. So yeah, very very interesting. So, but that's actually very, very interesting though, because if I don't know how the code works, but if it does count as a debuff, then maybe can it be immune by Gmod or something? But I don't think so, because again, the condition is the lower the remaining HP of all enemies, right? Now, I do think, because it had that clause in it, or because it had this line in it, I don't really think it's a debuff. It's more of a condition, it's more of a condition, I think. Yeah. So, and yeah, alright, so that should be about this skill. Very, very good. Definitely recommend this one to be maxed out, for sure. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, actually, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Because, Yumeno, I do think is a bit harder one to I guess, distribute the skills. Alright, so now, Oni-chan, please don't, quotation mark pro. So, reduce CD of counter action by 18% upon performing an counter action, heals 10% HP and reload 10% magazine, as well as let out a cry. Now, this is a skill that is not as good as, or that being said to be not as good as her previous one, which is the non-pro version. So, what's it called? The reason why her previous skill are strong is because it uses counters, and that's the reason why it makes things like Nightmare OP, it makes Snow OP, it makes some of those pilots, or Snow what's it called? Snow Nightmare, basically the pilot, or basically the mecha that have good counters OP, right? Now, most of those mecha, the CD reduction on the counter is not that important, so to speak. Force using them are the one that is important. So it really kind of feel like a downgrade of what it's like, what it was before, because it's just 18% action, like 18% only for counter actions is just not it's not worth it. I think it's not worth it compared to her previous skill. So, and the 10% heal, the reload, and the cry, that's that's nothing, right? And I don't know, like the mecha wouldn't the mecha she'll be piloting usually wouldn't be like spamming counter over and over and over. A lot of time your units will be, doing their actual, X ult and stuff like that. So this skill will basically just be obsolete, like for the most part, I should say. So, but yeah. Okay, I gotta say though, if the reduced CD is for all action, then I can see this skill being usable, basically. But I don't even know if even with that, if that this skill will be better than, her last skill. So alright, so that should be it about this skill. So again, I definitely would recommend not using the new one and use the old one. So Snowflake, Snowflake, yeah, because Snowflake also have a lot of counters, I believe. So Pervert is kind of abundant counter. Yeah. Hold on. I don't want to see her old one though. Yeah, I want to see what her old one text said again. Okay, I see. The old one have a cooldown. I think that's the way that they justified it being this, but I don't know. 7% cooldown, that's a small price to pay. Like, yeah, that's a small price to pay for a forced activation on the counters. So, now for the last skill, now this is very interesting. It's ban. Yeah, when attacked by an enemy within a radius of 3 units, ban the attacker for 2 seconds, reducing the action cooldown of the same time span. Minimum activation interval 5 seconds. Now, people will probably see a lot of this skill in 2v2 because it does make an enemy kind of went out of action for like 2 seconds. But it's a bit controversial, or not controversial, but this skill is both good and bad, or yeah, can be both good and bad because what's it called? When you get attacked by the enemy, right? When you get attacked by the enemy, most of the time it might be a grab. Now, even if the enemy, like let's say if the enemy grabs you, right? Technically they attack you, and the enemy got banned, you will still be stuck in the grab and getting hit as it is getting banned. So it doesn't. I don't think I'm not sure about now, but when it was just released, it actually doesn't cut. Like it doesn't. That doesn't stop the enemy from just continuously damaging you while you're being I guess banned. I guess so. Of course, if you get hit by like a normal slash by the enemy, that'd be pretty good. You put the enemy out of action for 2 seconds while you can focus on other the other enemies. That can be good. But what's it called? There are also times where you don't want the enemy to be banned because it makes even though he's out of action for 2 seconds, it also makes him immune for 2 seconds. Not being able to be damaged for 2 seconds. So that's that can be problematic in some modes, like especially in 4v4, especially in this meta where Dream Guardian can just wipe out the entire team. You basically make one of the enemy safe from that wipe at least for 2 seconds while they're being banned. However, this skill is very strong in 2v2 because if you ban one unit, then you guys can focus on one unit first, kill it, and then kill the other guy when they get unbanned. So, but how do you say this skill? I would say is like it really depends on what you get hit by. When attacked by an enemy, if you get hit by a grab, then you're still taking the hit, and if anything, you're also banned with them because you're trapped in the grab with them. And in 4v4, it can potentially put or they can potentially save a unit from being killed by Dream Guardian because they got banned for 2 seconds. So, but yeah, it is still a very good skill. I do think, especially better than its last skill. It's a really good CC effect. It's a really good way to stop the enemy from stop enemies approach. Or let's say if your units are let's say whoever you're piloting Yumeno on are damaging someone and some other guy try to attack you, and they'll be banned for your they'll be interrupted for your Yumeno to do whatever she's doing at the moment. So yeah, very interesting skill. And of course, the 2 second action reductions are also very, very good. So yeah. But yeah, I think that should be it for Yumeno. She is good in both PvP and PvE. As I said before, you know, her first skill and second skill, both have uses in PvP and PvE. Her counter skill definitely use the old one. That old one are very, very strong in PvP, and the ban is also, it can be strong, it can be bad in PvP depending on how you build it. So yeah. Yeah, now that I think about it, I might skip on Kenzen then. Yeah, I might skip on Kenzen because, you know, her active skill are actually pretty good in, oh god, yeah, might pretty good in because his first skill is good in both PvP and PvE, so I wouldn't want to skip his active skill. You definitely don't want to skip on the force action, the force counter skill, and the ban can be very, very powerful in some aspect where I think having the ban being like available as much as possible are stronger. So yeah, I might skip on Kenzen because this skill wouldn't matter that much if the enemies are at all max health, right? It will only work, or like, it will only give you like a certain amount of boots, like, you know, when the enemies are at lower health. So yeah, this is something that, yeah, Kenzen will be something I would recommend skipping, unless you're not using, you know, certain skills in PvP or in PvE. So yeah, alright, so that should be it about Yumeno, and her pilot, or she should be good in most, yeah, what's it called? She used to be banned in 2v2 back in NC because of her ban skill. That's being pretty good. And of course, you know, she just being like a very good pilot that can also force counter, and just very annoying to deal with. So honestly, yeah, I don't think she is that picky about pilots. Like, in fact, it'll be more on the mecha that you have. For example, if you have a mecha that you have that is not too picky about pilots, then I think you can put Yumeno in. Just like, again, depend on her. It'll more depend on the mecha. Yeah, I guess. Because the ban will be pretty strong if you put it on a mecha that is close range. Actually, I don't even know if she'll be good in any pilot that is in long range. But yeah. Yeah, like, I think I used her on Shenwu. Yeah, not Shenwu. On Wushan Retriever before. I used her on. I forgot. Just generic. Melee, generic melee units in PvP, because your range unit will be on, you know, either Trista or Ashima, right, or support pilots. So yeah, you know, just any top tier any top tier melee PvP pilot at PvP mecha at right now, that also isn't picky about pilots, I guess. Will be a really good pilot for Yumeno. And for PvE, she is usually used as a funnel. So basically, what they'll do is they'll activate her active skill that will start lowering the enemy's action cooldown, and of course their debuff and defense and reaction stats. After that, they will make Yumeno just get killed by the boss. So a better, you know, that better DPS or better boss control can come and start, you know, and start hitting on the boss. So I'll set her on either Abel and Yes Kaitulo. Yeah, that can be a really good, that can be a really good use for Yumeno. True, true. Yeah, alright, so I think that should be it for Yumeno. And another good reason to keep her co-pilot skill to be older one, because I'm not sure if you even have this yet, but you can use the Awaken pilot's co-pilot skill if they're the older one. So, you know, by having it as an old one, it can potentially, you know, make you know, you can use her as a co-pilot still in PvP, which is again such a great co-pilot skill in PvP, especially on Mecha that needs a lot of counters. So or have good counters. So I think that should be it for Yumeno. Don't think there's anything else, right? Again, if you guys have any more questions, just ask me. Alright, so finally, last two things I want to talk about. I'm already so tired. Like my brain is moving so fast that I'm just speaking something nonsense, I think. Alright, so let's get into what's it called? Let's get into the two new pilots. So I'm gonna start with what's it called? I'm gonna start with Kannazuki. Kannazuki, she is honestly one of the best pilot, or best non-Awaken pilot in my opinion for PvP, because, so first, boost speed and action cooldown and weapon reload speed continuously for 10 seconds. Now, the boost is about 60%, that's pretty good, and, what's it called, yeah, that's pretty good, and, what's it called, but it's not even too special. This skill is the one that you probably skip because her other skills are just so good, so. Yeah. Also, hold on. I think someone talked about... Okay, yeah. I'll answer the question later, yeah. So, okay, so for a second skill... okay. Augmented armor. Yeah, greatly boosts self-gross weight. Rendering the pilot's unit immune to knock up, stun, loss of control effect, and plus 50% attack on normal attribute weapons. Now, if you guys don't like, I think everyone can tell why this skill is absolutely busted, right? It grants like the amount of immunity that it grants it are absolutely insane. Do you know how many stuns, knock up, and loss? Yeah. Do you know how many knock up and stun effect are in the PvP right now? It just effectively make you like a much sturdier thing where you can just walk through all of the, all of the CC effects. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And loss of control effect also is really good against UMR, right? If UMR is still being used in EN, this skill just completely nullifies. Or if it doesn't force, if it doesn't ignore immunity, but this can effectively reduce a lot of time being lost control. And of course, the weight gaining are also very strong because some attacks damage does scale with the weight, depending on what moves that are using. So it makes your unit so much more defensive against status effect into this meta. It also gains so much more attack, like not even from the plus 50% attack for normal attribute weapons, but just from the weight gaining are also very strong. And gaining weight by itself can also be very strong against CC because it'll be harder to just knock you around. So yeah, very very strong skill, and it's also and it is also a callable pilot skill for special, which is absolutely insane. Like, yeah, I would literally get this pilot just for this skill alone because the co-pilot skill are just so good. Like, I would just put this skill on a Awaken pilot, and that Awaken pilot just become even more powerful. So, and then we got endurance, reduce final damage received by 56%, value decreased by 1% every second. Now that's just like Ushan's chassis is very strong, pretty good against bursts, might be, might save you a little bit, like, or might let you survive a little bit longer might make you not be able to be one-shotted right away, at the beginning, especially in this Dream Guardian meta. So, very, very good. It's also a co-pilot skill, so, if you want any of your builds to not die, like, at the beginning of the battle, you can just put this co-pilot skill on and have like liquid armor on, so you are guaranteed to not die instantly at the beginning of the battle. So very very strong. And then full output release heals 40% of the self HP immediately after losing 2/3 of HP. Pilot's general attribute stats are also increased by 40% at the end of the battle until the end of the battle. Now, like, they basically just made this pilot Awaken pilot. Yeah, see, heal 40%, it's not a revive per se, but it is like a sort of like a pseudo revive where you will gain a big chunk of your health back after a certain threshold, right? And you also gain your attribute by 40%, which kind of sort of make you go to the range of the co-pilot, like of Awaken pilots. Yeah, if not more than the stats of the Awaken pilots. So literally yeah, I think this is like as strong as the Awaken pilots, if not the best non-Awaken pilots in PvP at the moment, because all of her skills are just great, like great for PvP. It's just anti-burst, anti-status effect, also offensive, a revive, and also, you know, like a boost in effect, especially one that is not that great, because again, we don't need to think too much on I think which to skip. We just max out the 3 and just skip the 1. So very, very strong. I highly recommend people to get this if they want to, or I highly recommend people to if you have spare, or what's it called, if you want if you want a good PvP pilot and you don't have enough Awaken coins and you're willing to, you know, spend money on heart box, right? And after you get all the essential, you know, like Linda, like you know, like those essential PvE pilots, and you still have spare heart boxes left, Kanna will be one that I will legit recommend you to SAS, because even now in NC and JP, I will still use the special skill as the co-pilot skill for a lot of the Awaken pilots. So very strong, and she is basically an Awaken pilot by herself, that alone, with, you know, with these kind of skills. So very, very powerful. Definitely would recommend putting her on melee units, because, you know, she has such good defensive abilities. She's out there, like, she are the one that's out there taking all the hits. She's the one out there, like Shingen the Dragon, taking all the hits for the team, and being immune to everything. And some mecha that I would recommend, obviously Himiko, like someone said. Like, I think this skill works really well with Himiko, because it does increase his weight, also increase a lot of this, a lot of damage that Himiko will do, and not to mention, you know, the plus 50% attack on normal attribute weapons. So, yeah, Himiko is one that's definitely good, but honestly, any pilots, I think, or any melee, or any generalist melee, mecha that's good in PvP right now should work, with her. So, not too picky about pilot at all, yeah, not too picky about, mecha at all, so, yeah. Human body, one hug. I see. The versatile armor, okay, yeah, I'm not too sure, but I think so, yeah, I think, because I definitely used that as well as, you know, as well as Ushan before, so I would think they would stack, I would think. But yeah. I said, so that should be it about Kanna, I think, yeah, Kanna, very, very OP. So now for the mouse, okay, so basically what this move does is just, it will take a random enemy, both mouse and the enemy will be gone for like 5 seconds. It'll come back, and then the enemy will take a lot of damage. I think it's 9 times 5% of the collision damage, which can be a lot, but it's nothing too, it's nothing too special, I think. Yeah, it's too RNG-ish, and sometimes you might, how do you say, and something you might not banish one, like, not take away one, not taking away the one that you want to take away, but instead take away something that you don't want to take away. So yeah, 200-ish. So this is probably the one that will skip on, and the damage, I don't think it goes over the firm seal as well. So, you know, I don't think it's not that great, but still good damage though. Still good damage. And so now, fair trade, when colliding with enemies, swap self debuff and enemies buff interval 1.5 second. Pretty classic moves, pretty good in both PvP and PvE, I think. Because you can just cleanse your own debuff and get rid of the enemy's buff, which can be pretty strong. But it's nothing too special. It's just just a fair trade. I think some other pilots also have this skill as well. It's good, but it's nothing. It's not a necessity, and it's definitely nothing that can potentially be a huge change in the battlefield. So. But good thing is co-op though, so it give out more options, especially if let's say you got lucky on pilot gacha, which I would never recommend anyone to ever do pilot gachas, or let's say you get lucky in the bar and you do get this pilot as like a free to play, or as a new player, then this co-pilot skill can potentially be useful, if your pilot doesn't, or if your meta pilot doesn't have anything that can like self-cleanse or something. So. Key to survival. Now, this skill is the one that she is very, that I think is pretty strong. So, upon receiving or upon performing evasive and defensive maneuvers, defense plus 35% for 3 seconds and heal 5% HP. Now, most mecha nowadays have 3 evasive, have 3 evasive moves or 2 evasive and 1 defense. So, and all of them are usually a few seconds long on activation. So I think this skill is pretty good because granted, if they do activate, if you have the chance to activate all of those divisive skills, then it can potentially give the mouse a good source of sustainability for it to heal 5% constantly with the dodges. But if you're dodging constantly in a battle, I'm not really sure if that will be a good thing. I'm not sure if your team will be, I'm not sure if your team will be dying already. Because if you're using defensive or evasive maneuvers, that means you're not using your XO to be doing damage or some other things. So, I don't know. But it's still a very good skill, and good thing it is the tech, right? Good thing it is the co-pilot skill. So, if you don't have any better ones, if you don't have any better co-pilot skill for your Awaken pilots or for some other pilots for PvP, this skill can be a good skill to consider. Because again, most pilots or most mecha now have at least 2 or 3 divisive and defensive maneuver, and this can be just a good addition on survivability. So. And for the last one is very interesting, and I heard right now there's also a bug in Ian, I think. So. Pseudo intelligence once every 6 seconds upload pseudo intelligence onto an enemy, rendering the enemy unable to target for 3 seconds by 60%. So in my opinion, or to put it simply, basically, it will randomly give the enemy pseudo intelligence, making them basically. They can still target your unit, and they can still hit your units, but the hits will not do any damage. Or 60% of the chance the hit will not do any damage. However, if the hits have any CC abilities or some any other status effect, it can still apply onto the enemies. So, but just wouldn't do damage. So it's kind of like their way of saying like it missed, kind of. But it doesn't really make any sense. Like, why don't you just make it not be able to like target that specific unit for a while? So, I heard there's a bug right now in Ian, but this skill can be pretty powerful, but it's limited to way too RNG-ish. If this skill has less restriction, I can see it being pretty powerful as a debuff, ability. So, if this skill doesn't if this skill is not random, or if this skill applies to all enemies, or if this skill just have a lesser cooldown, I think this skill can be very, very strong. Can just be very strong in PvP. So, because the damage, not damage reduction, because it can really cause the enemy team to start having problem on doing DPS when 60% of their shots are no damage. So, I can see the skill, once it is fixed, to be good in 1v1s potentially, because now 3 seconds of the chance, 3 seconds of the time, the enemy will have a 60% chance to do no damage to you. So yeah. Alright, so that should be it about Mouse. And for the pilots, I don't think she's too picky about pilots, or I don't think she's too picky about mecha. Just make sure to have a mecha that have, evasive maneuvers, right? Evasive maneuvers, and the rest is up to the mecha to do the magic, sort of. So keeping her alive and stuff like that. So yeah, like a pilot, like a mecha that can keep her alive. That also have a lot of evasive maneuver, and preferably the evasive maneuver are fast and are quick. Yeah, quick, so you can be using a lot of it, have a fast cooldown, and can just be using more of it to heal more. So I think that should be about the Mouse. Oh my god, my throat is broken, I think. And I don't want to bring this up real quick, so if you go in our Discord, so this is more towards Planet Awaken. So if you guys want to see this video, so Trista can be pretty good in Bakiwi, who's in the chat right now. Trista can be, oh god, Jesus. Wait, hold on. So as you can see, okay, hold on. Yeah, I muted the thing because it was too loud. So, but as you can see, if you can use there you go. Yeah, this goes. Oh my god, I can't stop it. There you go. My bad. Yeah, my bad for the music blasting. But anyway, as you can see, if you can make Trista Awaken, that if you can put Trista Awaken on a unit that can potentially spend a lot of missiles, it can be pretty good, especially in PvP. So in limited, especially in limited, where there isn't much defensive things that they can really put that you can really put on. So all the enemies are just sitting ducks for the enemies. So drone preferably. So alright, so I think that's everything we talk about today. I'm not sure if I missed anything. If I did, I'll comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna start answering some questions now. So, oh, my head hurts so badly. Jesus Christ, my throat. Oh god. I hope I did fine, because I was speaking so fast. I messed so much words. Oh, and Chishan, I heard this pilot is really strong in Ian right now. I don't have the time to do the guy on her today, so maybe some other time. You missed one thing. Yeah, what thing? What did I miss? I'm gonna die. How miss you? Yeah, thank you. Oh, okay. One thing I want to talk about this. So for the boss, right? So for the boss, honestly, just use. I mean, this boss shouldn't be that hard, right? Because yeah, I don't think this boss is this hard. Just use my team, use someone's team, and you guys got it. So yeah, all good. I think mine can do about 30 damage or 30%-ish. So just do it 3 days, and you guys should finish it easily. This boss is because it's a ranged unit. It's not that difficult. So if you want to just build using your own poster team, it can work as well. Just make sure to take out difference breaking parts out, and you should be fine. So, and for those who don't know, yeah, Scorpion Pet is from Solar Badge. So, but don't worry though. Don't worry if you don't have Solar Badge, it's fine. Because what is it called? Because how do I say, because, we usually get 3 copies that we can redeem every once in a while, so just redeem it, you know, during that time. But do keep in mind it takes a lot of alloys, so you know, definitely start saving up alloys and don't don't throw them away. So yeah, you will get, so basically you will get you can get you can get Scorpion eventually. So don't worry if you don't have it. Actually, if you don't have it now, you can use, the aggro pets. You can use force active cell activation pets. You can use hold on, let me see. I'll just ping out the pets that I see that people can use. So bench chill if you're using like a active cell burst build. You can also go for Fire Rabbit things. Fire Rabbit is, again, yeah, I'm not too sure because the action is a bit long, so probably not doable. Oh, yeah, the aggro pet, yeah, the aggro pet will work as well if you're not using the aggro coding already. And of course, you can also go for Panda will technically work as well. So I mean, Panda works for most mecha. So obviously Scorpion, again, if you're getting Dream Guardian, definitely get Scorpion. Scorpion should be fine, yeah. Thank you, Captain. Welcome, Captain. Welcome. Gosh, my head hurts. Yeah. I've been. Oh my god. Where's... Oh wait, hold on, wait. Did I miss him? Hold on. Yeah, him. This drill guy. This drill can also be a good pilot, or can also be a good pet if you're not using Ether Shell. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think that should be it about the pilot that can use if you don't have Scorpius. Alright, let me, okay, so I'm probably gonna be calling the stream a day, like, in a few, soon. So, what I'm gonna do is just, I'm gonna be going through the comments, or going through the chat to answer any potential questions, and if there's no questions, then I will call it a day, cause, yeah, my head's hurting. Okay, so, good night, yeah, good night, thank you, alright, so, let me reading a lot of things. So I think I've seen some people say they have 2 Dantes, right? I got 2 Dante, but the damage in PvP lower than JM. Now, that's not possible, cause... Well, okay, not that it's impossible, but I feel like you're allocating your resources on your JM more, because Dante should do a lot more damage than JM. So yeah, try to see if you can put the resources that you put on Justin Magenta on Dante. And in fact, I'm gonna give you a Dante build right now, right? So, Dante build. Oh, actually, is it for PvP or PvE? So, for PvE, right? No, wait, no. Okay, this is for PvP. So if you want to go for PvP, this is for PvP. And if you want to go for PvE, now this is for PvE. So your Dante should not be doing less damage than JM. Actually, that's what I want to say. So, IS got speedrun. Yes, IS got speedrun indeed. I think I still have a record on my Unseen. So let's check it out. Come on. Event. Come on. No, that's not me. Alright, so I hold a record at number 4. Yeah. So, if you want to see my team, 9th second, which someone also got 9th second, but he beat me. I only have 1 second to shave because the record, the record is 8 seconds. So I have 1 second to shave, if I want to go for it. But just something that I do. And as you can see, Trista Awaken is being used for me on the speedrun. So alright, so any more questions? Counter diva resistant, burst down, possible snowflake, banner for chat. I'm completely broke after pulling for Dream Guardian. Which manufacturer should I save for? Probably Bahamut, Dante, Messiah. Dante is good for both PvP and PvE, and it's much more worth it. It's much more worth it to pull Dante, because even if Messiah and Bahamut is better than Dante in PvP, right? They got nothing compared to Dante in PvE. I mean, Bahamut is also good in PvE too, but I don't think it's as strong as Dante. Dante is still very strong in PvE, in both PvP and PvE. So, because imagine this pilot and solar aquarium law. Freaking break for law for sure. The valid liquid cycle. I think I already said that. Originally Iron Man suddenly not working. Disco time. Missing. Bomb was only need to start to work in PvE. Oh, I see. Next time you shows I asked for. Probably. I definitely need to do some tweakings though, for sure. They're on 10-star. Nice. Kind of. Ashima, can I use a boss pilot? Preferably get something stronger, like I don't know. Just a better support pilot, I think. Boss will work, but I think you're a vet, right? If you're a vet, you should have a lot more support pilots, that available. So, okay, and I hope I answered all of them. I think I'm using Sokai Majin Plasma Shell. Plasma Shell, I don't think is that worth it, because a lot of things are immune to defense break now, and sometimes it doesn't really matter if it defense break or not, because it just dies anyway. So, you will be as good for commentary join. Kane, as I said before, Kane and any mecha that has enough health to to tank the hits, and your team also should probably build for more sustainability. Because many pilot use a lot of good idea to put on DG if you have Trista. I've seen the copy skill 3 big. Okay. Machine gun work for. I think I answered everything. If I didn't answer anything, just ask again in the comments. Just ask again in the comments. I'll get back to you guys on the thing. So, how about Virgil? Virgil is only usable in PvP, and it is not even that good, as far as I know. So, kind of sad. I haven't been using Virgil for a bit now. The G mode is nice because the G mode, the G mode can prevent it from being grabbed, and I would think it's safer to use than some other units, but it's not the best. It's like watered down Dante, kind of watered down Dante, but with a quarter effect, kind of. I feel like it's supposed to be like a more offensive version for Dante, like a better one in PvP, but don't think it. So it's just why I find something similar to Ashima. No worries though, cause eventually, right? Eventually a better support pilot is gonna come. That is the I forgot her name. Pythia? Pythia. Pythia will come eventually, so just stay tuned. Hello, Fitra, welcome. I'm about to end the stream soon because my heads are hurting, so, thank you so much for being here. I didn't expect it to go this well, or this badly, I don't know. And of course, if you just joined, or if you joined midway, I will be timestamping the video in like, like about 20 minutes after the live stream. So, definitely use those, and please consider to share this stream to people who might be interested, and like and subscribe. Clip the stream if you need the clip to share it. So yeah, thank y'all so much. And of course, if you guys want to know more about Dream Guardian, use my short guide on Dream Guardian, because I should cover everything about the builds in there as well. I go see you take Dream Guardian drawing with Becca's dreams. Yeah. And also a warning, this is not the end of range meta. I have already made a video on it before where I used 3 range units to get to top 10 in Iron Saga PvP to top 10 using 3 range mecha. So more range unit might be coming soon. So yeah. And is there anything else that I need to talk about? I don't think so, right? Yeah, well, see y'all next time. Goodbye. Aisha.